Hello, my name is Nhoening. I did a project I entitled The Early Rising Dog. It's about my dog Cooper, who likes to wake me up early in the morning. I was wondering if hanging curtains might help him sleep in a little later. So I wanted to use statistics to help me decide whether or not I should invest in these curtains. There's a couple issues I had. Obtaining a simple random sample might be an issue. The change in sunrise throughout the early spring as the sunrise um, rises earlier every morning. Consistency in bedtime and food and water intake, trying to keep Cooper on a pretty consistent schedule so we didn't have any issues um, with that. And defining when Cooper woke up, because he might lay around in his crate for a while every morning before he decides he needs to get out of his crate. The simple random sample was going to be difficult. I probably have to take data over the whole year and randomly select which days I would hang the curtain and which days I wouldn't. So I decided to use a convenience sample instead, just for practicality purposes. Change in sunrise was addressed by just alternating the days I hung the curtain and the days I didn't hang the curtain. The bedtime issue, I did my best to keep on a regular schedule, but sometimes we got to bed earlier or later, so I was hoping that this would come out in the averages as I collected more and more data points. And the food and water intake was easy to monitor just by taking away his water at around 9 o'clock and making sure that we fed him on a regular schedule. And I just decided to record the data when he pawed at his crate door. I hung a curtain or a sheet over the window to test this, so I wouldn't have to invest in curtains. I just alternated the days that I did that. Here's my data. It's recorded in decimal hours, which is because Excel and StatCrunch didn't like the 60-minute hours. Hard to compute, so they're in decimal hours, which is just taking the minutes divided by 60. And if our mu1 would be our wake time without curtains, and mu2 would be the wake time with curtains, the null hypothesis would be that the two would be equal, and the alternative hypothesis would be that the wake time with the curtains, mu2, would be greater than the wake time without. We used a 0.05 significance level to test this. And after I ran it through StatsCrunch, we see that the p-value is 0.4097, which is greater than the significance level, so the null hypothesis is not rejected. The two means are similar, and there's not sufficient evidence to support that hanging the curtains will have a significant effect on how late Cooper will sleep. And as we see through these box plots, that there is very little difference in the two data sets. There is one outlier in the no curtains, making the minimum quite a bit lower, but I think that's an outlier, and otherwise the box plots look very similar along the x-axis, and this is consistent with our hypothesis test. With or without the curtains, Cooper always gets a good nap in. He keeps me up at night and wakes me up early, but then he's always taking a great nap when I'm off at school or work. Thanks very much for your time. I'm done.